So this video is definitely a rant. I went to Planned Parenthood today to get more birth control, and I've gone there before. I've been going to Planned Parenthood for about a year now. I've never had an issue before. So I drive up there, and I'm like, oh, there's a police car. I'm like, that's strange. Then I see a row of people. I'm like, oh no, like, this is the protesters you always hear about on the news, the ones that make people feel really uncomfortable and shout things at you. I'm like, oh my god, I need to go in though. That's not something I expected to deal with on a Sunday morning. I'm like, okay, well, I need more birth control, and that hasn't changed yet, so I park my car, and I hear them, like, chanting their slogans outside my car. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to deal with this right now. And so I, like, sit in my car a little while. I'm like, alright, I've got to go in, but I don't want to deal with them. So I'm just, like, on my phone for a few moments. I'm like, alright, turn my car off, double check I have everything in my purse. I'm like, okay, it's time to exit this car. I hope they don't yell at me. And I step out of my car, and there's two people standing there. And they ended up being volunteers for Planned Parenthood. They were so nice. They walked me from my car to the building, and they're like, thank you for coming. I'm like, no, thank you. And I go inside, and everybody in there is so nice. I love the staff at Planned Parenthood. I love Planned Parenthood in general. And I told her, you know, I called ahead. I need to pick out some birth control. She calls me in the back. She gives me a brown paper bag and fills it up with 7 months worth of birth control. I give her my card. She charges it. I'm like, perfect. And that was it. And I'm like, alright, it's time to go back outside. And I step outside, and all the volunteers were there, and they thanked me again for coming. I'm again like, oh no, thank you. I'm like, I love you guys. And I'm like, alright, time to walk to my car. And I walked up to my car, and there was that row of protesters. I just refused to make eye contact with them. Not because I was embarrassed or I thought what I was doing was wrong. It's just like, why are you here? Why are you making this experience of, like, health so uncomfortable for people? Like, obviously Planned Parenthood, they offer an array of services, and, you know, I personally go there just for birth control, but I completely support anybody else who goes there for anything else, you know, like general health, infections, birth control, abortions. But I'm like, you don't even know why I'm here. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if I'm going in here for whatever reason. But anyways, like, I get up to the car and I hear them chanting, and I'm like, you just sound idiotic. But I definitely heard the word slut when I got to my car, and I heard the word sinners thrown out a lot, and I get to my car and I'm like, wow, it's not even noon yet, and I've been called a slut and a sinner, so, you know, I'll take it. It's a little cheeky compliment. I don't know, I'll go with it. And I get in my car, and I just hear them protesting outside into my cars, and I was just like, it's just really uncomfortable. That was my experience with the protesters there. Everybody, you know, you can have your own opinions. I mean, for any type of opinion you have. I'm like, but there's no reason to shove that onto somebody else or make somebody feel so uncomfortable. There's that idea of, you know, like, I may not respect what you have to say, but I'll respect your right to say it. But I won't respect you, what you're trying to say to me, if you are being, like, blatantly ignorant, rude, mean, condescending, or just creating a really unsafe environment. Like I said before, I love Planned Parenthood. I will continue to love them. I'll continue to support them. I'll continue to go to them for the needs that I have. But yeah, that was my first experience with, like, protesters outside of a health clinic. I just don't see why you have to deal with something like that. I don't understand.